Survival is all about staying alive under emergency conditions anywhere in the world. Survival is not just for the camper, climber, or pilot. It's for everyone, young and old, because anyone can be confronted by a survival situation. The more knowledge you have, the greater your confidence and ability to handle any situation. This program will provide you with that knowledge and the skills that will build that confidence. Lofty Wiseman served with the British Army's Elite Special Air Services, the SAS, for 26 years. After spending years learning survival techniques firsthand in the Arctic, desert, and jungle in such places as Malaya, Borneo, Aden, Belize, and Kenya, Lofty became the chief survival instructor in the SAS. Since leaving the SAS, Lofty established the School of Survival in England, which has students from all walks of life from all around the world. In 1986, Lofty's book, the SAS Survival Handbook, was published, and it became the #2 bestseller in England. It's currently in print in 7 languages. In addition to these activities, Lofty serves as a consultant to law enforcement agencies, corporations, security firms, and elite military units worldwide. Lofty, are you ready to tell us what we need to know to survive in a harsh world?
Yes, Steve, I sure am.
Okay, so how did you get so involved in survival training, Lofty?
Survival is a basic military skill, and we never knew where we was going to find ourselves in the world, and we was always on the long line of resupply. And so we had to have the ability to live off the land.
You know, I read in the newspaper about people who have survived in very difficult situations, and they aren't the kind of people you would expect to survive. What makes a survivor?
Steve, they've all got one thing in common, and this is mental determination. Survival is all about, mental toughness. It's probably 80% of mental exercise and only 20% of physical exercise.
Fitness must be important, though.
Sure, the fitter you are, the better you can apply yourself. But remember, survival's for everyone, the young and the old, and it's no good, say, climbing a tree for 1,000 calories of fruit and you've expended 2,000 calories to obtain them. So we must think things through, assess the situation, make sure everyone is safe, give them all a job to do, and get the best from them. Okay, in order to do that, you've got a program. You've got a series of things you've got to think about. What do we have to think about to do that right? Okay, what we must learn about is food, fire, shelter, water, navigation, and medical. They're the main elements of survival. Well, that's an awfully lot to think about. How do I know what the priorities are? What should I think about first? Okay, what we do, Steve, we put all these elements into an acronym called PLAN. Now, P stands for protection, L for location, A, acquisition, and N for navigation. All right, tell me a little more. What do you mean by protection? Okay, however we find ourselves in a survival situation, be it an aircraft crashing and there's a likelihood of exploding fuel, we must have protection from further danger. So we evacuate the immediate area. Likewise, there might be an impending avalanche or a forest fire. We mustn't stay in its path. So protection from further danger, and then protection from the elements. We make a shelter to give us protection from the rain, the wind, or in the tropics, the sun. Next, location. We must put our signals out. We want to be found. And so we draw attention to ourselves by making signal fires, air panels, etc. Now, while we want to be rescued, we're going to be hungry and thirsty. So A stands for acquisition of food and for water. Then finally, navigation. Once we've used all the local resources in the area, we've got to think about moving out to safety if the rescue don't come maybe within 3 weeks, because we've used all the firewood, all the animals have been eaten, all the plants have been gone, and so what we must do is think about moving, because we're open to disease now. However good we practice personal and camp hygiene, we're going to soil the area, so now we think about moving. So navigation is the last thing we do. 3 to 4 weeks, that's a long time. How long do you need to be prepared to survive? Yep, there's no time limit on survival. We must survive all our life. It's a full-time job, and so life, we survive until we die. All right, I've got the right mental attitude. I know what's important. I've got a plan for putting that into effect. Is there anything I can take along with me to give me a little edge? Okay, Steve, we always say carry a survival tin. Now, this should be carried in a pocket at all times. Not when you go to the wild, but even in the town. Whether you go ballroom dancing or walking a dog. A small tin like this gives you the ability to make or acquire food, fire, shelter, water, navigation and medical. You'll see a lot of these items being used throughout the program. But basically, it's got a flint for lighting a fire, a small piece of candle, again for fire lighting, needle and thread for running repairs on clothing, a scalpel blade which you can skin, prepare game with, a flexible saw, some chemicals, medications, plasters for general abrasions, and it's a real bonus in a survival situation if you've got your tin with you.
That's an awfully lot to find in a very small tin. Let's say I'm making a trip where the possibility of finding myself in a real emergency situation, a survival situation, is a little higher than the average trip. What else might I take along?
Okay, Steve, everyone should also carry, when they go to the wild, a survival pouch. Now, there's much more equipment on here. This is on the belt, carried at all times. It's got a flashlight, which we can use for signaling, and also we'll show you how to light a fire with this. And there's a container, which we can boil our water, cook our food in, with a stove, okay, for cooking, flares, so we can be found, air marker panels, and a variety of stuff. Again, a lot of this you'll be seeing used on the program.
Okay, out of all of this equipment, what's the single most important piece of survival gear?
Steve, you must have a knife. Okay, this is a small folding lock knife, and so it's got a positive lock on it. And again, we use this for making a shelter, preparing game, and lighting a fire. It's an essential part of our equipment, and we must look after it.
That knife looks pretty small. What could I take along that'd be just a little bit more effective?
Okay, Steve, this is a parang, and it's an excellent tool, not only for the jungle, but for anywhere in the world. Effectively, it's 3 tools in one. From here to here, it's very sharp, and we use this for skinning, preparing vegetables for cooking. From here to here, it's like the axe, and all the heavy work is done by cutting trees. And from here to here, again, it's very sharp, and we can use it for preparing skins for clothing, etc. Now, in the jungle, it gets very slick and sweaty, so we use the thong so it won't come out of the hand when we're using it. Now, in the jungle, if anyone gets injured, we've got to prepare a landing site for a helicopter. And many times in the regiment, we use these all the time for cutting large trees, mahoganies and teak, up to 4 foot in diameter, and it's got to be done fast so the helicopter can come in and save the guy's life. So we thoroughly recommend this. Also, in the jungle, it's possible to make a raft and float down a large river to safety. So anywhere in the world, the parang, okay, the serious adventure should carry one.
Okay, Lofty, you've shown us a lot. Now, let's go out in the field and begin our survival training.
Remember the acronym PLAN. P for protection. That's protection from further danger, then protection from the elements. L stands for location. We want to be found. A is acquisition on food and water. While we're waiting to be rescued, we're going to get hungry, and more important, we're going to be thirsty. N stands for navigation. If no one rescues us, finally we might have to walk to safety. Now, protection is our first concern. It's no good trying to build a shelter on a hilltop. We're going to be cold and exposed to the weather. So what we must have, a prime concern, is water. We're going to find water down in the valley. Also, we need material to build a shelter from, and hopefully find some food. This looks an ideal spot for a shelter, because one, there's plenty of material to build a shelter. It's near water, but not directly on it, so there's no risk of flooding. There's plenty of fuel for a fire. There's no deadfalls to come crashing down. There's no bees, wasps or hornets in the trees. And there's a nice open area to the front where we can lay out our emergency signals. Let's build a lean type shelter.